I was a refugee, come over here in 1975. I was like 5 years old. Lived in a shelter in San Diego, lived in a shelter here in Tacoma for a few years. And then I grew up in Rainier Valley on Martin Luther King Street and Orchid Street, down the street from Yale, down the street from Yale. And I grew up, very normal, went to school, and I graduated from high school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then I followed my older brother's footstep, and I went and fixed aviation airplane, and I got my A&P mechanic license. And when I graduated, I wasn't really inspired. And one of the things I can tell you guys from being an entrepreneur or that, I'm a big believer that everyone is an entrepreneur, because even you work for Microsoft in here, and you work for Microsoft, you still have to basically meet people. And if you meet people, you're connecting with people, you're an entrepreneur at the end of the day, because you got to sell Microsoft's product. And so my heart wasn't singing. I didn't really want to pursue. I graduated in '91, and my older brother took off, and he went and worked for United Airlines, and I got my license, and I just wasn't inspired to go because my heart wasn't singing. It wasn't my passion. I just really followed my older brother's footsteps, and I decided to stay back and work at Safeway because it's a better option. And basically, I worked at Safeway and worked at a body shop, and I did that full time. Parked car at a Chinese restaurant, and basically, I really didn't know what I wanted to do at that time. I didn't really have a vision at the time. But I remember sitting at this Chinese restaurant, and a friend of mine named Linda Chan says, you should go out and sell real estate. And I was like, yeah, why is that? She said, because you got a good mouthpiece. And it's interesting though, and I look back today, right? Every one of us got a gift, right? I've been knowing Gail and James for a long time. They all got their gift. And my gift is definitely my mouthpiece. And I say that not because I talk a lot, but I say that because that's what I was blessed with, you know what I mean? And so, interesting, I decided to pursue it. But today when I look back, when she told me I had a mouthpiece, my heart started beating. And it was interesting. So I just unconsciously pursued it. And I went down to Windermere Real Estate in Sewell Park, and I said, can I get a job? I was 21 years old, just graduated from college, and the guy said, how old are you? 21. So he took me in the back room, and him and the assistant manager and the transaction coordinator interviewed me, and they said to me, I remember the one question they said to me was, what are you gonna do at the age of 21 that's gonna benefit Windermere Real Estate? Because the average agent only lasts 18 months. And it was interesting, the only thing that came out of my mouth at the time was, I know who I am, I'm a hard worker, and I know a lot of people in Rainier Valley, and you don't pay me, I heard. I heard that I pay you every paycheck. So what do you got to lose if you hire me? And the guy actually hired me from that statement. He told me that 2 years later, because it's true, right? I got started, and that became my job. And as a real estate agent, I don't know if you know, we're 100% commission. You pay your own insurance, you pay your own car, you pay your own gas, you pay every copy you make at Windermere, John F. Scott, you pay it. You know what I mean? You're pretty much an entrepreneur. And so one of the questions says that once you figure out what you wanted to do, then you get educated. And again, Stacia asked a question about did I know what I wanted, how did I do it? Most of the time I notice, if you don't notice, for you guys who are entrepreneur, most entrepreneur, in my opinion, and most human being, were visionary. The moment you got a vision, your mind, what you got, what you love to do, what make your heart sing, right? Then you should follow that vision. The thing that gets in the way of most people is they get stuck on how am I going to do it. And so I'm going to tell you, you will never ever figure out how you're going to do it, because if you knew how to do it, you'd be thinking too small anyways. Because you already have the answer for it already. Does that make sense? And so I remember James, when he sat down with me literally about a year and a half ago, he says, I'm going to start this thing called Perk. And I said, well, how are you going to do it? I know this and this, but I don't know how to do this and this. I'll figure it out and be off and running. I remember 3, 4, 5 years ago when he came to me and he told me he's starting this thing. Same thing. So for me, I knew I wanted to sell real estate at the age of 21, but I didn't really know how to do it. And there was this gentleman named Mike Ferry. He is a real estate coach in Newport Beach, California. And a lot of my friends said, you really want to be a good real estate agent, you should hire this guy, and he'll teach you how to do it. And that's my education. So he charged at that time, right? This is like 1993, all right? When I started meeting him, he charged $300 a month, and that was like a lot of money. My car payment was only $200 a month, so he charged $300 a month, and this is all he taught me, you guys. He taught me basically how to be in rapport with people, how to be a great salesperson, be in rapport with people. He taught me how to present. He taught me how to move my arm, move my head. He taught me how to say certain questions, an open-ended question. Then he gave me a script, and he had me memorize these scripts. So when I go and talk to a seller, I had a script already memorized. When I talk to a buyer, I had all these scripts already memorized, just like an actor. And he had me internalize this script. And I remember when I was young, I used to sit there and I used to write my script literally 100 times a day, this one script. When do you plan on moving? How long you live at this address? Where'd you move from? How'd you happen to pick this area? If you were to move, where would you go next, and when would that be? I remember that script over and over, and I did it over and over and over. And so once I got that script he told me, then he said, now you ready to go to work? And I said, yeah. And he said, great. He made me actually make 100 flyers, and I had 100 flyers printed out, and I had it all folded up, and he said, here's your homework assignment. I want you to go out on the street, I want you to door knock, I want you to pass out 100 flyers, and when you get done, I want you to mark down how many people that you talked to and how many people you didn't talk to. You got it? That's all I want you to do. So I did it, you guys. I went and I door knocked 100 doors a day. It used to take me from 9 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon to knock on 100 doors. And I did it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I did it 5 days a week. I did it 5 hours a day. And I did it every day. And I tell you, here's part of, one of the things I learned from door knocking. I remember the first door I door knocked, right? It was on Beacon Hill, and this lady came out and says, you can't speak English, right? Don't bother me. Again, don't come back, and he slammed the door on me. Now, here's what I tell you from door knocking. If you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you gotta learn how to love breakdown. If you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you gotta learn how to love rejection, learn to love failure, learn to love frustration, because all that gives you clarity to be successful. Because without all the rejection, folks, it wouldn't fine-tune my skill. Does that make sense? So before, it used to take me about close to 300 contacts to actually make an appointment. So I talk to 300 people and I make an appointment. But I had to go through all these rejections because I remember saying something to somebody and they said no, and I didn't know how to respond to a no. Does that make sense? But you have to get the no so you can learn, oh my God, next time I gotta learn how to say it this way better. So I literally did that, you guys, 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, every day. I did it for 10 years straight. Now here's what's great about it, okay? I did that every day for 3 years, and on my 3rd year, when I got done, I made my first $1 million in commission in 12 months. 12 months, $1 million commission. Now Joe's in real estate, he knows, right? It's very hard, okay, to door knock every day and actually deal with the rejection. So I did that, and I just, got the hang of it, and I did it for many years. I still do it today. I'm on the street. I see a property I like, I go door knock and I ask the person, have you thought about selling? And then I just go into the script mode, you know what I mean? But it's not a script, it's internalized, so it's a conversation, but it's all open-ended question. When do you plan on moving, right? It's open-ended. See, most people ask you, have you ever thought about moving? And the natural question they always answer is no. Or you ask them, when do you plan on moving? They can't say no, they have to answer the open-ended question, answer back to you. Then you keep the conversation rolling. Well, those are all my skills that I learned from this guy, Mike Ferry, and as years go by, he charged me $2,000 a month. I was paying him $2,000 a month to teach me this stuff. And I did it for many years, and today I still have him as I have many coaches today. So, to fast forward, I still have a real estate business, this umbrella called Thach Real Estate Group. And inside that umbrella, I have a residential business where it's a consumer business where my team help people buy and sell real estate every day. And then another leg of that is I actually have a development company where I build single family new construction and also build commercial property, condominium and apartment building and retail. And then I also have another leg is investment, which I just build stuff or buy stuff and I keep them as real estate holding. And so these are pretty much all the different facets of real estate that I do. But one of the things that I love doing today, a lot more than anything now, because I remember when I was in the shelter, this guy named Charles Zettler sponsored my family of 8 to go live with his mom in Sumner. And he gave us the shelter for about 2 years living with him. And so that was my first experience of unconditional giving. And so it's interesting because if you look at all the nonprofits today and you look at their mission and you look at where it came from, it was inspired by their own life experience. So today I have a program called the American Dream Program where I actually go build houses and I buy houses and I rent them to the homeless families in Seattle. So I'm part of the 10-year ending homeless family in Seattle. I work with a lot of organizations like United Way, First Place, Lehigh, you name all these different companies out there. And what I do is I go out there and I just buy houses. And right now I'm doing my first project, my first brand new project. I'm building 7 brand new homes in Seattle, and I'm going to be renting them to the homeless in Seattle. And today, my vision today is to continue to build a lot of houses in Seattle, buy a lot of houses, and then basically rent them to the less fortunate and people in crisis. And then educate them on how to actually get their life back together, and then so they can help buy a home again, so they can actually have the American dream again. And a lot of people I actually rent them to are basically just minorities like all of us who came over here, and you basically live in sponsorship family somewhere, or you're living in some apartment, in somewhere in Seattle. And those are the families that help a lot because they're no different than me and you guys. So one of the questions here is where do I see myself 5-10 years from now? I'm always going to be in real estate. Real estate is my passion. I love doing real estate. I love expanding. I see myself building more high rises, like Mr. Trump, right? Build a lot of single family houses. That's what I love to do. I love to build a lot of apartments to keep them as investment, and continue to keep having my residential consumer business for my team. We do that. But then I also see myself doing a lot of philanthropist work in the world. I see myself creating this model so other people in the world can copy that model and then go out there and do the same thing in their community. And I see somewhere out there, I've been holding this intention that the universe, God, is going to create a platform out there so I can actually touch and inspire 1 billion people. Because my ultimate vision of life is to inspire and empower 1 billion people, to show them that anything is possible. But more importantly, do it in the service of other people first. And my vision is have that platform come to me somehow where I'm going to have the opportunity to touch 1 billion people. And that's really my ultimate vision at the end of the day. Not the money, but that vision. And everything else, money, everything I believe will just follow anyway at the end of the day. So basically that is in a nutshell my vision and what I do, okay?